ACMCI Nishtalacha, ACMCI Nishwalakwa. I just really raised my hand to this conference for wanting to start out in a good way with a good heart and a good mind. I'm always honored to open up because my grandfather has reminded me that we all come from so many different walks of life, and it's a way for us to also remind you to walk gently here, to walk with a good heart and a good mind, to speak kindly to yourself and others.
We have registered for the conference people from 23 countries around the world. Remember, not just in times of COVID, but even more so in times of COVID, we need each other and we need allies. And I ask you at this conference to spend time with people who you don't usually spend time with. And when you're interacting with people, I ask you to remember that we all have 2 ears, 2 eyes, but only 1 mouth. So listen, observe, and learn. No one is perfect. You will make mistakes. I will make mistakes. Call people in to grow. Don't call people out through public shame and humiliation.
Knowing that there are other trans people in university, knowing who they are and being able to get in touch with them is something that can be meaningful to both students and trans workers in the university. This is very important for people who are reminded all the time that we don't belong and that institutions were not prepared to receive us. You are probably familiar with this kind of experience and the feeling it brings. The feeling of never really fitting in. We are comforted to find an ally in the chair of trans studies at the UVic. In fact, we like that this is the first chair because it makes us feel that we are not alone.
I'm just a little country boy from a dirt road. Why I do the work I do is because there was no role model for me out there. I don't want anybody to go through what I had to go through. If I could be that person somebody had, and I have been, and I know I have been because people tell me that they don't lose their life because they see me, then that I've served my purpose.
We've come a long ways. We've got a lot of work to do yet, but I did find out that in the process that if we need to change the law, we can do it. It just takes a little bit of effort on our part and not to be fearful.
I live in the world of cup half full. My life has been hard, but I live in the world of hope. I get to be a leader for an entire younger generation of trans families, children, parents, etc. And it makes me be a better person.
Well, I'm going to count myself as an exception because I've never felt shame. I've been out all my life as who I am to the extent that I can. I would often wonder, why are these people thinking about me in this way? There must be something wrong with them that they can't understand what a wonderful person I am.
If I can offer anything to the young people is that don't shut yourself off from the sunlight of the spirit, because the power and the empowerment is there. So open your heart and just let it happen. It'll happen, all in a good way. Thank you. Kiss my book.
For me, I always put the emphasis on community. You know, community saves lives. And we have opportunities like this conference. We have opportunities where other events happen in community, but to really build networks of support and family for each other. If you have power, it is your responsibility to bring folks in. Be about it. And I'm expecting you to be about it.
We have so much brilliance in our communities. So much creativity, so much magic, because we don't often have intergenerational conversations where we get to talk, together. We don't always get to share these ideas. If you could tell us a little bit about that moment and those moments at Stonewall.
It started with the police brutality, with them coming in and wishing to put their rules on our bodies. So the girls at that time decided that it was enough. It had been happening for years in the making. I guess it started, with them wanting to shove a girl around. And from there, it went to West Hell. And it continued for 3 days. You got to be ready to fight. Plain and simple. You must always be ready to fight, to set your stuff down and go for it, because they are going to come at you every way possible. And you must be prepared to put them on their ass if you can.
Gender dysphoria is such an intense and horrible emotion, because most of it, for me at least, stems from myself. It's mostly myself not accepting or not seeing myself as who I really am. It's like I'm looking at a stranger whenever I look in the mirror. That's why gender euphoria is so great, because it's that self-acceptance that comes from kind of seeing yourself as who you envision yourself in your mind.
Have you ever felt a sort of drive to explore trans history at all? And is there a sense of sort of empowerment or euphoria that comes from being connected to that history?
Yes and no. Because I feel for the people who had to go through those experiences. But I'm also so proud of them that they were able to enact and create change.
Being trans is hard. It's really hard. It's not easy. There's a lot to go through, a lot to experience, a lot to deal with all at once. And so talking to and meeting with trans adults is personally very important, because they did it. They managed to get through all of this, and so maybe I can as well.
I've been working with our growing team since 2013 to build these Moving Trans History Forward conferences into a place where all trans plus people can feel welcome and included. We're not there yet. We'll never be there. But I'm guided in this work by the words of my Jewish elders, who direct us to do tikkun olam, which means the repair of the world, and who also say, you are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to desist from it. I've been out in the queer community since the word queer was something that people spit at you through gritted teeth. I have known the fear. I have known the secrecy of that world. Now today, I look and live the life of a well-off, privileged, apparently cis, white married man. And the contrast is stark. I feel it as a responsibility to use my privilege to bring light and hope and some small measure of comfort, safety, and pride into the lives of others. And that's why I've worked in the trans plus community for almost 40 years. It's what I can do. And what I ask you to do is take the kindness that I've asked you to have in this conference with you into the rest of your lives.
I can't say enough. Haichka Siam, thank you so much for holding such a beautiful space. Even though it was online, you were still connected in such a good way with so many people from all over the globe. Just end us off. I thought it would be appropriate to sing an Anishinaabe song. It's the Wildflower Song.